Okay, what about now? I think we are live again. Hmm. If if we're live, just let me know. Seems fixed. Excellent. Okay. Um all right. Thank you, Julie. And I keep going back and forth on whether or not that's too long. I don't know. And so I also when I started the first time, I forgot. Oh gosh, hang on. Almost 3 months of streaming, and that's my first. There, why am I? It's weird. The camera is where it's always been since I locked it down, but there's all this space up above me that don't think used to be there. Oh my goodness! All righty then. I also remember when I restarted OBS, and while it was restarting, I remembered that I had forgot to activate the bot that does the welcome sounds. So there we have uh, some welcome sounds. Um, ah, oh, still not sure if that one has quite the clarity that I want. That one may need some work. I mean, Julie Andrews is so clear and delightful. Where were we before OBS so rudely interrupted? Sim Caesar, I don't think I personally greeted you. I hope things are going well where you are, and definitely like a twister. Very good. Okay, but it's when so again I can only go by what I get in my this little tiny earbud monitor, and the Julie Andrews singing just has this like crystal clarity and vibrancy, and the sound that I clipped from the Wizard of Oz movie just sounds kind of like quiet and dull and flat and indistinct and maybe a little not garbled, but just like I know like a picture can look washed out. The sound kind of sounds uh washed out with that. Oh, soundtrack. Thank you for clipping that. And Iowa Scotsman, welcome on in. Good to have you here. Um, we are just about. I don't think I need to re-explain for anybody who was already here before. We're about to. We're doing some groundwork today. It's ground school day here on the Peter Mooney channel to see if we can figure out what we need to learn in order to fly the Boston Wings IFR number 5 flight. And then if we succeed in identifying what we need to learn, then also going on to learn it. I did. Let's see. We're in the wings thing already. For the first thing I'm going to do is just go look at this inspiring wall of all the pilots who have successfully completed all 30 flights, and then we can scroll on down to to our line, and we can see, yes, indeed, we have been credited with 6 VFR and 4 IFR flights. So that's awesome. Then we can get actually to where we're meant to be, which is the let's see. We want to just go down here and find IFR 5 and start taking a look at it. Here we go. Note that it pictures a TBM. That's a TBM, isn't it? Wait, no, is the TBM? No, that's the TBM with that little curved thing. That was one of the first things that I noticed, was that it recommends, they always suggest aircraft. So fast piston or turbine, and then they give some examples like the 208 Grand Caravan or the Beach Baron or the King Air or a jet. Lord help me, a jet. So so the first thing I did when I saw this recommendation was I thought, okay, well, it's a long flight, so they want you to do it in something fast so they don't have to sit there for 3 hours babysitting you while you complete your IFR flight. Well, that makes sense. We ought to be able to find something faster to fly. So the next natural thought was, well, over the last week, I've been watching Sim Caesar, and he decided to give the updated TBM a try. And he just jumped right in and cranked it up, and off he went, and it looked easy as pie. So I spent what was probably an unwarranted amount of yesterday in the TBM, and it took me an unwarranted amount of time to conclude that I'm not ready to fly TBM. Actually, it didn't all go too terribly, but about 45 minutes into flying it, I thought I was keeping an eye on the engine instruments and keeping everything in the green, but just kind of out of the blue, my oil pressure plummeted, and that was it for the engine. Couldn't figure out anything to do about it. So, Sim Caesar, yes, you bring up the solution I have that I came to this morning, and that was so one of the aircraft they recommend for this fast piston or turbine is the Baron. And the Baron has a max cruise of 176 knots. And the Mooney that I'm comfortable in has a max cruise of 174 knots. And so I am confident that a 2-knot difference is not going to make a difference worth worrying about in terms of how long it takes to make this flight. So, yes, Dr. IPO, welcome in. Good to have you here. If you're not familiar with PhD, also known as Dr. IPO, delightful air traffic control streamer, a VATSIM air traffic controller who also streams his scope on Twitch under the name PhD IPO. And, well, Cold Nebo, I'm only going off I did not dig out the POH for each to compare what's in there. But if you just take the cruise speed indicated in your Microsoft Flight Simulator hangar, yes, it's a 2-knot difference. The Mooney is fast for a piston single. It's fast. And yeah, compared to a twin. And so I assume the Baron is a piston twin, not turbo. Yeah, so we'll be graduating to the Caravan and probably the King Air at some point. And Lord help us, I hope we don't get to a jet before the end of this, before the end of these 30 flights. But you know, stranger things have happened. What's not a turbo? Yeah, happy Blitzkrieg. I've tried it a few times, and it's just I haven't flown any turboprops. I'm not even sure that I understand the specific terminology between piston versus when somebody says turbo or turbine or turboprop. Is the Mooney a turbo? Well, see, I don't think so. It's a game you don't have. It's a game. Oh, it's a game I don't have to. No, but the whole purpose of my starting this channel was for me to learn stuff, and so that's one of the things I want to learn. So I think some of my confusion in and around turbocharged is uh oh, thanks, soundtrack. Uh, I think it comes from the fact that, like so I also don't know a lot about automobiles. I mean, when I was a teenager and got my first car, I learned how to change the oil and, that sort of thing. Uh, and I could certainly change a tire and, but I mean, that was before there was any kind of computer in a car. The most advanced technology in my first car was probably the speedometer or maybe the radio. I don't know. It was a 1962 Chevy Impala Super Sport, the one with the bucket seats on the console down the middle with a stick shift looking selector for the automatic transmission. Those bucket seats, my mom actually made. They were vinyl and had just worn out vinyl. So my mother actually made seat covers for my first car, and it was a kind of a very short nap, but like a furry fabric in a leopard print. So it was an amazing first car. But good. So Sim Caesar has given me turbocharged is a piston engine with a turbocharger to blow extra air into the engine. So that's kind of what I was thinking, because that's why I brought up cars. Because I did not know that a turboprop was a thing. I just assumed when people talked about a turboprop that was a piston, like a turbocharged car, that it was a piston engine that was being turbocharged for extra air. And so it was not until recently that I learned that a turboprop it's more like a jet engine, that instead of creating thrust with internal fan blades is connected to a propeller, and so that a turboprop. So it seems to me that starting the engine in a turboprop has a lot of similarities to starting a jet engine, and I don't know how to do either of those. And I'm going to learn soon, just not today while we're on this stream. So I mean, I think my understanding is I think my current understanding is at least moving me in the right direction in terms of grasping the general concepts there. Edward, Texas, hi, welcome in, good to see you. I don't think I actually said hi, happy Blitzkrieg, hello. An infinite bypass turbo fan. Yeah, I've read about high bypass and low bypass, and yeah, I'll learn that stuff too. Shadow Wolf, welcome. Good to have you here as well. So let's see. Oh, and Mike and Callie. Good to have Callie in the house. Start a piston, you turn on the fuel and hit start. Start a jet, you hit the starter and then turn on the fuel. It's that simple, is it? But don't you the starter uses kind of some means, either electrical or air driven, that could come either from a ground unit or an APU, but he uses something to get the thing turning first before you add the fuel, right? And then in different planes you have to let it do, the N1 has to come up to something, and I knew at one point what N1 and N2 were, but I don't remember again, gonna learn all that, just not today while we're doing this stream. Hey, Tyro's here, welcome, good to have you. Sim Caesar, I don't mean to mock. I very much appreciate the bare bones simplicity of boiling it down to things like piston, you turn on the fuel and then hit starter. Opposite in a jet, you hit starter and then add the fuel. So that's an excellent place for me to start. So where we're heading then is we're going to attempt on next Tuesday, when Crafty Aviation is on Boston Center, and there for us to attempt a wings flight. We are going to attempt the IFR number 5, and we're going to attempt it in the Mooney, because the Mooney goes only 2 knots slower than the slowest of the fast planes they recommend doing the rating in. Yeah, yes, indeed, Spundot. I thank you for your encouragement, and I was pleased to see him showing you how to start the Mustang, and I will probably get the Mustang at some point. And for next Tuesday, I'm going to continue resisting and continue flying the plane I'm at least moderately comfortable in, or no, in which I'm fairly comfortable and moderately competent. So that's where it's going. I like the Baron. Baron seems to have this. Yeah, I might try the Baron. I'll probably go for a turboprop single first, like the Caravan, if for no other reason than thinking I needed something faster for IFR 4. I went and bought the Black Square Steam Gauge add-on for the base game Caravan. So they've got my money. I'm gonna fly their plane, darn it. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. Oh my gosh, Kilo Zebra's here. Hi, Kilo Zebra. And Good Fixins is here. Peter Louise Mooney. I gotta. There's. I may have a story about that later, but or I may not. I probably won't. But Peter Louise Mooney very nearly led to a spit take yesterday. Yes, Dr. IPO. That's kind of what I thought. Don't be learning a new plane while doing a wings rating flight. Seems like a bad idea. But if we're mainly focusing on doing one wings flight every Tuesday, I mean, it's great if we get a chance to do an extra one on a Thursday. Excellent. But I mean, it gives me a week. So I mean, we're gonna attempt IFR 5 in the Mooney next Tuesday, which gives me until Tuesday after next. So what, like 11 days or so to maybe get comfortable in something faster from it's well. So that's one thing that I started to mention and dropped out was that over the last few weeks I've been having a bad feeling that these flights were about to start getting way over my head and way complicated. And indeed, IFR number 5 is going to introduce us to a star. And then I glanced ahead yesterday at IFR 6 and 7 and 8, and it's about to get really deep in here. So I'm gonna be learning new planes and learning new procedures and learning new stuff about reading charts and plates, and yeah. Cold Nebo, how do you know? I don't know what I'm asking you how you know, but I'll ask. How do you know? TBM 930 for the first half. Right, yeah, it's the TBM, Kilo Zebra. TBM's one of the possible contenders. The TBM or the Caravan. And then we'll probably work our way up to the Mustang and maybe other stuff too. I don't know. Most of the stars and SIDs, Boston are turbojet only. Oh yeah, that's I'm thinking that's not the case with the Gardner, whichever number Gardner is current, because they have recommended the Baron, and I think the Baron is not turboprop. I think it's just twin piston. I could be wrong about that. But we're about to very soon now. I promise. How long have we been doing this? Well, 40 minutes since we actually started. We had to restart, so it's probably showing less time on your stream. Probably something like 20 minutes. But at any rate, we are going to we're gonna review these materials, and then we're gonna pull up the star and start seeing if we can interpret it. So why don't we do that? I got as far as the suggested aircraft and why we're going to use the Mooney for at least one more flight in this series. We got the test standards up here. Complies with the assigned SID. I can probably, we'll look at the SID for this flight, but I'm not expecting anything too surprising or unknown to me in the SID. but then joins the Gardner number arrival for this, or whatever star they may instruct me on. And for the purpose of these wings flights, my understanding is SIDS and stars often have an abbreviation that ends in a number, and the numbers are just the number changes if there's a change made to the star. So it might be the Gardner 2, the Gardner 3, the Gardner 4, but only one of those is ever current at the time. If it's currently the Gardner 3, and then a change gets made, let's say a piece of equipment goes out of service, and so that piece of the star can no longer be flown until the equipment is repaired or replaced, then they will retire the Gardner 3 and issue the Gardner 4. So for the purpose of the Wings program, so that they don't have to come back and keep changing these every time a star or a SID changes, they just use the little hashtag number. So that's what that means. So we're going to fly the SID, then we're going to join the arrival. I am going to not descend until a descent is authorized, be that either by a specific descent instruction, descend to 8,000, or if there's an instruction to descend via the arrival. Let's see. So, and assuming that I'm cleared. So reports top of descent. I'm guessing this, if I understand my procedures correctly, this will not apply if they actually give me direct descent instructions, like descend to this altitude, and then later they say descend to this altitude. So my understanding, at least at this point, is it's only if they clear me to descend via the procedure that I would then need to report to them when I'm leaving my altitude and starting my descent. Oh, Kill Dead Red Ted! Kill Dead Red Ted! Not Kill Dead Red. Ted? Welcome on in, and thanks for the hug. Yeah, so it's only if I've been given an instruction where the beginning of the descent is at my discretion that I would need to report leaving my... I mean, he's not going to... Well... If they call it and say descend to 8,000, I'm going to read back descend to 8,000. So then it would be redundant to then subsequently call them back and let them know I'm descending to 8,000. So that was probably a duh on my thing anyway. Okay, so those are the standard. Fly the SID, fly the arrival, don't descend without clearance, and if cleared to descend at my discretion, report my top of descent. And then over here, they're just saying it doesn't have to be Albany to Boston. It can be any two airports. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're going to actually do. Let me just I have a sense that I might have missed a thing or two. No, I think I just missed soundtrack shouting some people out. Yeah, a version number, right. Of a version number 4. Wasn't that a song by... I can't remember their names. English boy girl band couple. You disagree. Traveled the world and the 7 seas. Everybody was looking for something. What is that? Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Why can't I think of the name of that group? I traveled the world and the 7 seas. Eurythmics, thank you. Yeah, wasn't a version number 4? Wasn't that a Eurythmics number? Anyway, I seem to be. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for covering the gaps in my gradually failing memory. So let's actually take a look over it. So this rating introduces me to a standard terminal arrival route. And, we might as well, rather than just having the generic number, we might as well go over here and go ahead and pull it up. So let's, I think if we just go to Boston, which should already be in here waiting, then we can go down to arrivals. Here we are. Gardner 4 would appear to be All right. Too bad we don't get to fly the J Fund, because I love hearing that on the radio, the J Fund too, because it's I'm sure it's named after uh, that investment company. Duh. my brain is just useless today. Uh, there's an investment company in Boston. Uh, when I lived in Boston, it's named for the Jimmy Fund. Yeah, but the Jimmy Fund it's isn't that a fund that's managed? Fidelity is who I'm thinking. Isn't the Jimmy Fund managed by Fidelity? That was I just every time I've seen J Fund, I've assumed it was a Fidelity run investment opportunity, uh, which kind of makes me uh, it takes me back to the wonderful years that we lived in Boston, because Jimmy Fund is a charity. Okay, well then I don't need to finish my heartwarming story about Fidelity and their Christmas party. Oh, for Dana-Farber cancer. Cool. Well, that's good to know. Is it related to Jimmy Valvano? Um, Jim's Waypoint also named for that. Okay. Well, good to know. And Fidelity throws a great Christmas party. Never mind. Let's look at the star. Actually, I'm just to save myself a headache, I'm going to go back here and just open this in a new tab, because we'll be going back to the Boston one. Einar Gustafsson. Well, there you go. I live in Durham, North Carolina, which is a stone's throw from Raleigh, and Jimmy Valvano, NC State's basketball coach who won a lot of national championships, died of cancer, and there's some charitable fund named for Jimmy. Oh, that's probably called the Jimmy V Fund, at any rate. Oh, soundtrack. Let's see. Who can I ask? Sim Caesar, are you still here? Could you show soundtrack out, please? Oh, you'll see yourself out. Okay, very good. All right. Well, I was hoping this might be a 2-pager with like some explanations, but maybe it's just so simple. Maybe the people who created the Wings program were kind enough to just give us the simplest possible star to fly for our first one. And this does look. This is really an arrival. Gardner for arrival, right? Because to me, this looks as simple as an approach chart. The stars that scare me are the ones that they look more like the sort of like when I took chemistry, and there were those like the little maps of all the different atoms and how they linked together. That's mostly where my head goes swimmy when I look at a star. But this looks flight level 420. That's hilarious. So this doesn't look too bad. What I got to say? Albany. We're coming from Albany, so we might get the Albany transition. The materials, we'll go back and look in a minute, discuss that. From over the Albany Vortag, Albany Radial 111 to the Wicked intersection. Oh, and here's Wicked. Oh, look. So we're departing Albany. So we're essentially departing from where this star starts. So that may help make things possible physics deviation. Okay, right. Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm flashing on like a star that I think they was on the jump seat last night, and it looked like it looked like the atomic map for helium or something. What was I doing? Something on this? Oh, okay. So we got turbojets, non-turbojets. Oh, well, this doesn't say only It's just these are expected altitudes for turbojets and non-turbojets. So now I don't know what a non-turbojet. So how can you have a jet that's not a turbojet? So non-turbojet must just mean any aircraft that's not a turbojet, right? I mean, thank you, Jeffrey. So yes, jet equals turbojet. So non-turbojet just means all other aircraft. In other words, I was reading it as if there were a space here between turbo and a jet, and I'm pretty sure you can't have a but it's not, so it would be turboprops and piston props. If they wanted to distinguish turboprop, they would say that. So okay, so here's our not as frightening as I was afraid plate. Let's go back and just look at what we're going to be doing here. Yes, Cold Nebo, the peanut gallery is strong, so strong that their aroma is wafting up to where I sit in the macadamia mezzanine. But probably not strong enough to reach all the way up to the Brazil nut balcony. We can hope. The people over on the sides in the legume loges, I'm not worried about them. Let's see. Developed mnemonic for exactly this. It's not a turboprop. Turboprop. It's a turboprop. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Prop out. No, okay. I don't know. Right. Yeah. Jets are going to be going faster, and non-turbojets will be slower. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that makes good sense to me. That what altitude? So right. So they were saying expect these altitudes, and these guys are going to be higher because these gals will be slower, lower and slower, higher and faster. That all makes good sense to me. I'm okay with that part. So now that I have mastered, we didn't actually finish looking up like this. So okay, so it's the Gardner 4 we're going to be flying. So I'm going to file and have our flight plan Albany to Boston with let's go look at the Albany. Let's see which departure this is out of Albany. So really for that, I might as well have another tab here and just go look up Albany, which may be in here as well. It's not. And from there, we can see which departure it is. Here we go. It's the Albany. Oh, I didn't mean to. We might actually want this page, so I try to remember to open these in new tabs because it's just easier. Like to get the second page. So here we go. And this one looks like it's oriented this way, so like a little smaller. I hope you're enjoying this. Like I said, it's not quite the exciting flight sim stream you came expecting, but my apologies for that. So it's the Albany 7 departure that we'll be flying. Because it's not a jet. Okay, that's probably hilarious. Oh wait, all jets are turbojets. Or there's no such thing as a non-turbojet. They're all okay, right? Yes. Ramjet isn't a turbojet, but he'd be hard pressed to take off. Oh, okay. You smart people talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to struggle along here with this departure chart. So, now I know there's two different types of departures, vectored and the other kind. And given that this has like 4 little, I'm thinking this is a vector departure, but I've been wrong before. Is this the, wait, where's the, oh, here's the page 2 is over here. See what this has to say. Yeah, radar vectors. This is looking like a vector departure to me. So depending on which runway we take off from, we will fly that heading to whatever fix. Maintain 4,000. Expect clearance 10 minutes after. Turbojets filed, blah, 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 blah. Resting flight level, expect, blah, blah, blah. So all the rest of this just doesn't apply to us because we'll be in the Mooney. So it looks like all we got to worry about is what heading to fly to 4,000 until we're assigned something else. Like I said, I could be reading that wrong, but so this is the Albany Vortac. We're located right on the field there, near where the runways cross. And this is also the start of our arrival, and then I'm assuming the next fix on our arrival is the Gardner, but we can go back and look at that. Here's Albany. Oh no, there's Wicked, which is the Chester VOR, and then there's Gardner. So, okay. Well, so far, none of this is looking, like I was expecting this to be like, as unfamiliar as Mars, and it doesn't look all that bad. Next. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. Very good. Excellent. Named where the airport you're leaving from is always a vector. Oh, interesting. So if it's called the airport number, Logan 3, Gardner 4, etc., then it's almost always a vector departure. Okay. And what's the other kind of departure now that we need to worry about it now? And we don't need 37 people to answer it. No, I'm kidding. Type whatever you want in the chat. As long as it's not, horrifically obscene. Counter example. That doesn't mean there's not. Okay. All righty. What are we doing here? Expect to receive radar vectors for an ILS or visual approach. Okay. Oh yeah, they point out here that this is one of the last flights out of these 30 where we're going to be getting vectors to final. So isn't that great? This is like the first of 5 or 6 things in this one. The materials for this one flight that that gave me a very bad feeling about where we're going from here. So let's see. Now that I've mastered the SID, it's time to produce. Okay. Okay. It's time to introduce its counterpart, the STAR. Their STAR is an IFR procedure designed to help you transition from the en route portion of flight into the busy approach phase. In addition to helping with terrain clearance and traffic flow, STARs, guidance, or specific instructions for descent that can be helpful for planning. Okay, yeah. So far, that all sounds great. I'm on board. Okay. Skills add up very progressively this program. Good. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm trying. We used to call my grandmother a worrywart because she was just always worried about something. And she was she was born in the U.S., but one of her parents was born in the U.S., but the other was one of her parents was first generation American from Germany, and then her other parent was born in Sweden and emigrated over. So it's German-Swedish combined. So my grandmother had lots of sayings from the old world that had been translated into English, some of them less than perfectly. And one of them, she always used to say, she would say, worry is the interest you pay on trouble that never happens. And I thought, well, okay, I get it. That's a good reminder not to worry. And she was like the world's biggest, we called her the worrywart because she was just always worried about something, which is probably why she had this, it was almost like a mantra. She would say, worry is the interest you pay on trouble that never happens. And it wasn't until she was long gone, it wasn't until maybe 20 years after she had passed, that one day, just like a bolt from the blue, it hit me what the more likely translation, like what I think whichever of her ancestors passed along that phrase did their best, took their best shot at putting it into English. But it's not pithy, right? Worry is the interest you pay on trouble that never happens. It's just not pithy. It's good advice, but it's not pithy. And it just hit me, like I said, like a bolt out of the blue, what they were trying to say, what they meant to say, what they intended to have this saying be was, worry is the interest you pay on borrowed trouble. Do you think I'm wrong? I think I'm right. I think that is a not only good advice, but a pithy saying. So worry is the interest you pay on borrowed trouble. There, I've managed to kill another 3.5 minutes of the stream while producing absolutely no content whatsoever. Let's see. That's a good one, called Nemo. I'm just going to continue reading. I've read this already, and by now you've read it 17 times while I babble on about unrelated things. I won't digress to Babylon at this point, don't worry. Neither the civilization nor the gay bar. Depart Albany, arrive Boston via the Star. There's the route we're going to file. So locate the arrival chart. We've done that. Note that the chart shows a published transition from the Albany VOR, meaning you can join the arrival at Albany. However, they may instruct us to join the Star at another waypoint or may vector me onto the Star. Yep, I think this next paragraph goes into a little more detail on that, but it's so, I mean, I guess it might depend on like which direction we take off. I mean, like if we take off east from Albany and are already flying the 111 radial from Gardner. Is it from Gardner or is it from Chester? It's going to tell us Gardner. 30, but that's 78 miles away. We're not going to be picking up Gardner from here. 34 miles, we'll be lucky if we pick up Gardner from Wicked. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Basil's here. I'm going to get my rubber band if it'll come off. I keep my trusty Basil rubber band at the base of my stick. Wait a minute. I meant this stick. Well, I can't show you the control camera's not on. At any rate, what was I saying here? Right. We'll go on because there's more about we may be cleared to join the arrival at Albany, but that seems unlikely because we will, having taken off from Albany, we would have to double back to actually be at the waypoint to enter the arrival from there. So I'm guessing they'll either have us join it at Wicked, or so we might get direct to another waypoint, or we might get vectored to join the Star. And I think that's going to depend on which way Albany is taken off next Tuesday when we try this. So once you've joined the Star, navigating it is similar to Victor Airways, right? They could proceed direct Albany, right? We know how to do that. And then join the 111 toward Wicked. If we have DME, which we do, then Wicked can be found 44 DME from Albany. You'll know when you cross the Chester VOR, right? We just crossed the Chester the day before yesterday. It's Kilo Zebra. That's excellent. The premium you pay on a policy you never. Yep. Okay, I like it. Did I miss anything else? No, I don't think I did. So there's the Chester. Continue along the same track. At or before Gardner, which of you are frequency to track? It's 111 radial to Bronx. So we're staying on 111. Looks like we will have, oh, pardon me. Oh, right. So, I mean, we will, I see, and it's the 114 coming to Gardner, but then, Switching to the 111 to Bronx. Oh, and Bronx. Wait, I don't understand. We've got Bronx and Lobby, both of which are intersections off of Gardner and Manchester. What is this telling us? Wrong tab. This is sad. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's exactly what it says. So 111 radial to 15 DME or to the intersection with the 232. Right. These are right solely for the purpose of identifying the yes. Good. So I'm with it there. Low altitude airways, like low altitude stairways, like low altitude stairways. Yes, I actually just said that. Yeah, confirm those without a DME. Yep, gotcha. Good to go on that part. Like low altitude airways, stars often include MEAs. Yes, that is not unexpected to me. Located between the waypoints along the star, MEAs low safe altitude. Not an instruction to descend. All of that is crystal clear. Do I see MEAs on here? I see distances. So are these I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, there's MEAs right up there. So 10,000. 10,000 at Albany. We're taking off from Albany. We got to climb to 10,000 before we can proceed on route? Wait, what's the field elevation at Albany? Albany. Have I been saying Albany? Why would I have said that? 284 feet. I didn't think it was in the mountains. Low altitude steroids, Henry Rollins Airways. That's hilarious. Not on the so it's like you taught me about the Victor Airway. I'm not on it till I'm at altitude. So we may not, depending on how long it takes us to get up to, if we can get up to 7,000 before Wicked, which seems unlikely, we could join it at Wicked, or if we can get up to 5,000 by Gardner, we could join it at Gardner. So we'll probably end up joining it at Gardner, is my guess. If that's, yep, just like we were talking about Tuesday with the Victor. Yep. Good. Okay, good to know. Wait, was that the next? Oh, yeah, I was just going back to this to look at, right. So those are MEAs. So 11, 7, and 5. And then there's these other altitude expectations down here. So, if we're landing non-turbojets, expect 9,000 and expect 7,000. So it's sounding like maybe they're expecting me to be up to at least 7,000 before I mean, I guess all of this kind of assumes that we're, coming from somewhere farther away and at a higher altitude. Well, I don't know that we have. So, yeah, so, I think if we were coming from somewhere off to the west, traveling easterly, and wanted to join this star at Albany, yeah, we would have to be at 11 or 13 or 15 or 17. So the line above and the line below mean it's required at that point. Required above and below. Oh, wait. I mean, right, not, got you. Yes, not arranged, but expect to be assigned this or this, depending on which runway you're landing. And then if you're not a jet, expect to be cleared to this or that. It's not about required or not. Required, wait, it's not about required or not, it's across at. Wait. This is across. Oh, so all of this is associated with the lobby waypoint. So expect to get this as a crossing altitude or to get that as a crossing altitude. And if you're not a jet, you can expect to get this as a 7 as a 7 as a crossing altitude, or 9 as a crossing altitude. Other than 15. Okay. Hey, Kev Sim Corner, welcome on in. Cross lobby at 7,000, descend via the arrival. That sounds like an instruction I could follow. Although this didn't have a page 2, and oh, so what's going on here at Reaver? Reaver, I don't see any kind of anything associated with altitudes at Reaver, so I don't see any altitude instruction to follow as far as descend via the arrival. Wait, I missed something up here. Cross lobby at 7,000, descend via the Gardner for arrival. Yep. Edward, Texas. I can say for sure it's not a turbojet because it has props. What I don't know is if the engine driving that prop is a piston engine or a turbine engine. So I don't know if the Baron is a turbo prop, but it's definitely not a turbojet. Oh, it's Revia. Oh, it's Revia. Of course it's Revia. I would have, if I had tried to park there, I would have been in a world of hurt. Hey, Richard Callahan's here. Welcome on in. Oh, now my chat is messed up and scrolling. No, not scrolling. Revia Beach. Yes, exactly. Hi. Did I miss saying hi to anybody else? The Midnight Ride of Paul Revia. Yes. Okay. Good. All right. I'm not going to obsess over that. I think I've obsessed sufficiently over that portion of this star. Oh, but that was the other thing. I just wanted to be sure I actually understand what everything is on here. And so that's another waypoint. That's the distance from Revere to the Boston VOR. And so I'm not sure about this R030. But the other thing that I don't remember that I used to know and now don't is what these in the little almost a square but with one side semicircular. It's looking like it's a distance. So I know we got 44 there, 34 here. 15 is 15 gonna be between, yeah, so it's 15 to Bronx and then another 5 to Lobby, but I think this 20 is this telling me that the 20 is the Gardner to Bronx? Oh, and then 49 is Gardner to Revia. And I want to know that because I'm still flying off the 111 radial from Gardner, and maybe even because Gardner is the name of the arrival and kind of like the main thing. So that's why I'm getting accumulated distances. So we got 15, 5, and 29. So the whole way from Gardner to Revia is 49, and it's telling me that here. And from Gardner to Lobby is 20. So I think unless somebody 15 plus 5 to 20. Yep. And little square semicircles. Yeah, cumulative. Yep. Okay. Good. So I like that I figured it out on my own and while you were typing to confirm in the chat. I like it when it goes that way. Okay, my Basil rubber band is now making my wrist itch, so I'm going to replace my Basil rubber band on the base of my stick. What were we? Okay, we were up to here, and note that Yes, and I think this is an important note here in the instructions that the fact there's an MEA on the arrival is not a clearance to descend to that altitude. Okay, so here they've kind of repeated some parts of the show. Okay, look how they showed us where the MEA is. They show us how to identify Wicked, which can be either the radial NDME off of Albany or the Chester, or the intersection of the Albany, this Albany radial and that. Oh, and R028 is the 028 radial, which answers what my other unanswered question was on here. That's the 030 radial off Boston. Okay. Good. Expected altitude information is for crossing lobby. Hey, just like Kilo Zebra said. All right, D is the total distance from the last VOR. Oh, D, is that D? Is that, so is the circle, is the squared, is this is actually a D, like for distance? If so, I don't know if they intended it that way, but I like it. Okay, excellent. Oh, and from the last VOR, as opposed to, so down here in parentheses is from waypoint to waypoint, but up here and closed in a D for distance is from VOR to, whoa, but this 20 is from a VOR to a waypoint. Oh, no. I get what you're saying. It's distance from the last VOR. So we're now 20 miles from Gardner. We're now 49 miles from Gardner. Okay, good. All righty. Yes, excellent. D or DME. Yep, excellent. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so what else are they telling us about this? Many stars include guidance or restrictions for speeds and altitudes along with the procedure. For example, note at lobby intersection. That's telling you what, and the altitudes are depicted. Yes, okay, good. We got all that. Oh, and here's that other thing you were talking about. So if the line is above and below, if it's a single altitude with a line above and below, that is a cross at. And then if the line is below, it's cross at or above. If the line is above, then it's cross at or below. That's all fine. And then if two numbers are between the lines, that's a block altitude, meaning no higher than 15, no lower than 12. Excellent. Very good. Oh, now the same thing. Ooh, this is new to me. Indicated airspeeds. Line above and below is mandatory. Line below means at or faster. Line above, at or slower. Yep, that's that also. That makes perfect sense. So then I think here they're just going to explain all that. Yes. Okay, notice crossing doesn't tell you. Okay, I think this is the next thing, that the crossing restriction does not tell you when to begin your descent. The only requirement is that you reach your assigned altitude at, and ideally not much before, the assigned fix. So let's go. So we will probably be getting, let's say we're expecting runway 15. So we will probably, at some point before lobby, we're probably going to get an instruction, something like cross lobby at, or were they saying probably at or above? Oh, I keep going back to the wrong one. Cross lobby at and maintain 9,000, for example. But then this is, well, right. So both of these are examples where, oh, got you. So let me back up here. So we're somewhere here, presumably after we've passed Gardner, we could get an instruction that says cross lobby at 9,000. And let's say I don't know where we are. We're somewhere, maybe we're still at 11. If we got to 11,000 back here somewhere. So that means I've now been cleared to descend to 7,000 with the expectation that I will be at 7,000 when I cross lobby. And I should work out my descent in such a way that I arrive at 7,000, like not back here a mile or two after Gardner, but shortly before arriving at lobby. And at whatever, I believe the next thing that's going to be in the instructions is that since the when to begin the descent was left to my discretion, that at whatever point I am about to leave my altitude, I give them a call and tell them that I'm leaving my altitude. I'm starting my descent. So let's see. Yes, reaching. Yes. So, right, requirement. Right, and so informing them, all altitude. Wait, is it really required when you actually leave your last assigned altitude? All altitude instructions. Well, I think this is just poorly phrased because obviously if they assign me an altitude, if they say climb to 11,000, that's an altitude instruction, but this doesn't apply to it. You know, informing them when I'm beginning my descent doesn't apply, but I'm pretty sure the point here is if you've been given a climb or descent at your discretion, then let them know when you're leaving your most recently assigned altitude. If anybody thinks I have the wrong end of that stick, let me know. The Jedi into Atlanta. I will have to look. Jeffrey, does that one look at? Does the Jedi into Atlanta, is that one of the ones that looks like the atomic map of a helium atom? I should go find one of those just so people can see what I'm talking about. Let's see. While descending, if you determine you can't meet the crossing altitude, definitely notify them. Okay, I think I would do that naturally ahead of time rather than, well, what I would probably do naturally is just kill the engine and throw out the gear and flaps and push the nose down and dive at 5,000 feet a minute to meet the crossing restriction. But that's just me. I don't recommend you do that. So this is recommending that instead I simply call them up and say, can't make it by 7. We can make it by 8. Let's see. Yeah, be sure to read the text. And in the case of this one, there's not a page 2 with text, so it's just this stuff down here about Gadna and Revia. Let's see. Should I do that on frequency next Tuesday with Crafty? Should I say Gadna and Revia? I think I should. Looks like a logic puzzle. Okay, we'll take a look in a moment. But I think we're almost at the end of this, and so then we'll go take a look it'll give us a chance to compare and contrast a beautifully simple arrival plate like this with a more complicated one. Okay. And they recommend I check out Wings IFR for how to calculate my descent. You know, I'm actually gonna make myself a note because I know there are a number of, or at least 2 quick and easy down and dirty ways to get a rough idea of your descent. Okay, and then the rest of this is when you're ready, which is just to make your plan, file your flight plan. Have your charts ready. That's good advice. Oh yes, we can expect this Logan arrival that we've already mastered. Clearly, no one was watching any of my approaches to Logan. Is it lamer? Lamer, I would say Limer. In fact, I got a friend whose name is Larry Limer. Oh yes, so Dick, thank you for the advice. Yeah, I think it will help me not take myself too seriously during IFR 5 if I say things like Gadna and Revia. I'll have to brush up my Revia. Alrighty. Okay. Is there really a Newman? No, that would be too funny. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, that's what we can do. Yeah, we're expecting that. Wait for a crossing instruction. When you leave your altitude, let them know. Okay. Oh yeah. So then here's it's the little yeah. Just like it's the last time we're likely to get vectored on the departure. They also warn us this is probably the last time that ATC is going to be nice and do our work for us by vectoring us onto the approach. So isn't that great? All righty. Well, so that's the overview of what we're going to be doing. So let's see. One of those was MCO, was it? We'll leave those open in case we want them, but let's go to MCO. Oh wait, was it? Oh no, it was Atlanta for the Jedi. But then we'll also go to oh, stop that. We'll also go check out Orlando for the Seinfeld. Let's see. These are arrivals. Jedi, they're alphabetical, aren't they? Yes, the Jedi 3. Oh, and it's only 2 pages, but not 3. And as always, I forgot to do it in a new tab so I can also easily get page 2. But I think, oh, and then I did it again. Whoops, I did it again. Here it is. And I assume we're going to want it rotated. Yeah, okay. Well, this is starting to look like this. I'm gonna have to go see what Sim Caesar. Are you still here? Sim Caesar. Sim Caesar. Sim Caesar. Sim Caesar. Are you still here? Are you still here, or did they call you in? If you're still here, I have a question for you. Sim Caesar. Sim 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 Caesar. Sim Caesar. He's lurking. Yeah. Okay. I have to try and remember which 2 airports they arrived at on the jump seat last night, because I'm pretty sure one of those. But it might have been just an arrival that they were looking at and then didn't actually file. But yeah, this is a little more. So there's like lots of. I'm guessing each of these is like named a transition. Maybe are those your transitions? These points where you enter it. And then let's see. It all seems to be. Yeah, on a lot of these, I can't even figure out like where I'm likely to find the airport. But on this one, it seems likely that the airport is up here somewhere. Yeah, so this is Jedi. So right, all the different feeder routes coming in. And this is two. Oh yeah, no, it's the 280 radial. So this is coming from the east. So these are all coming from 8230. Is this upside down? What's this? This is the 324. Oh, so north is up there. So oh yeah, so that would be the 324. Okay. TIE fighter. Oh, it's the names that you like. So TIE fighter, Boba Fett, yeah, Larry, Aiden, are those Star Wars characters? Wait, it is Jedi. Yes, Jedi is Star Wars. Okay, but I see Chewie. So Jedi and Chewie, and Wookiee. I am familiar with those terms, but I'm afraid. So Star Wars, the first movie, premiered the summer I was working in a movie theater. So I saw that a lot. And then I think I saw, was The Empire Strikes Back, the second one? I think I saw that, but just like paid to go see it in a movie theater once. And that's my full exposure to the Star Wars series. So there's a lot of names, but I have heard TIE Fighter. Melnum. Oh, Ewok. No, so the Ewoks must have been in Empire Strikes Back, because I do recognize that too. Okay. And I'm sure I don't know why I bothered pulling up the instructions, because we weren't talking about any of the detailed stuff, only so if we go and do Orlando here, it was the Seinfeld, was it, MCO? or KMCO, ha ha ha. There we go, and arrivals. Right, Seinfeld 2. Oh, and it's Seinfeld 2 has 2 pages, but I gotta tell you this. So we can open both of these. I won't bother opening the text description if it's only cute waypoint names. It doesn't even matter at this point. I don't know why I'm bothering with that, but okay. So the airport's over here, and yeah, we got Shrek. Wait, Shrek. This is the Shrek 2. Why am I on the Shrek 2? I thought I was on the... Oh, there aren't 2. Okay. I just opened the wrong thing. So yeah, so this is the Seinfeld 2, and this is starting to look a little like the kind that scare me. You know, just because there are so many waypoints. I mean, and I guess we need all these waypoints because the altitude is changing each time. These are like step downs, are they? Oh yeah, 17,000 and down to, but these are, wait, no, I can't read that sideways. I'm gonna turn it around 3 times to see if I can read this a little better. I thought chat was going wild, but that was just the delay with me seeing the thing turning around. So we got, so I don't know what this 1700 is. Oh, is that the MEA? I guess the 1700 must be the MEA. But then what's so there's not lines, but I'm guessing you're not supposed to be above flight level 180 at this point. And at this point, you're not supposed to be above 11,000, and the MEA is 1700. Oh, it's an RNAV star, right? Okay, good point. Which is why there are no VOR frequencies on here. Yeah, so that makes. So was there other interesting stuff that workload lower? Yeah, I would imagine. You just punch it all in the computer and let the plane fly itself, right? I don't mean that in a discourteous way. If anything, you might detect a tone of jealousy in my voice. And so were we looking for cute names on here? Like, let's see. Oh, there is a Newman on the Seinfeld. All right. For you, that's probably a joke from an episode I missed. Get Out. Secoy. Higgs Voss Sunday. Cue Ball. There may be a lot of Seinfeld jokes I don't get, but I see Jerry and Seinfeld, and oh yeah, okay, so Nick and Get Out and Newman. Those all make sense to me. Hey, what's here? It's not even a dress rehearsal, Newman. This is back in my day in the theater. What we would call this is dry tech. This dry tech is actors love it because they get paid, at least in a union setting. They get paid to show up and be there for 8 hours, even though they're basically just need to be sitting here or standing there, because it's basically you essentially work your way through the entire show from one tech cue to the next, starting with house to half, house out, main curtain up, electrics 1, which brings whatever the name for whatever the first light cue is, and then that may be it until sound 1, and then electrics 2, and so you just go from, in the stage manager's book, you just go from every cue, from one cue to the next, to the next, to the next, and you just go work through whatever that. So that's dry tech. And so we are doing makeup is next Tuesday. No, next Tuesday's opening night. Sadly. We'll see. I will be doing final dress in private, and then I will probably actually, if it were Broadway, in between final dress, you would actually run for 1 or 2 or 3 weeks of previews before opening night. And a preview is final dress on steroids. I mean, it's actually a performance. It just doesn't get counted as a performance in your statistics because you haven't technically opened yet. So I'll be doing previews in private, and then opening night is next Tuesday, unless things go horribly wrong. Fenrir, welcome. Good to see you. Happy you could come along. I have been learning how to read the plate for a standard terminal arrival route, because that's what we'll be doing next Tuesday. And we went over kind of all the materials here. I guess what we haven't done, did I close the, okay, no. So I closed that, and for some reason I closed the Albany departure as well. Albany 7. Because we actually could take a look at those just to make sure we went through it all in general, but we could also go through it specifically to make sure I know what I'm doing. And I mean, I don't know that I've got the energy. Well, how are we? 4:30. Yeah, I don't know about actually going through this. So, right. So this is our arrival, but so Albany is where we're departing, and we'll get whatever. Hey, thanks. Bye. Hey, thanks. Hi. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. I'm sure everybody knows K Thanks Bye, and probably everybody has heard K Thanks Bye's fabulous news that they recently, after graduating nursing school, took their state exam. Back when I was in my nursing days, we called it the boards. K Thanks Bye passed his boards and is now officially a registered nurse, which is just, it's great. It's great for him, and it's great for the world. Every time a nurse passes their boards, the world becomes a slightly better place. So what was I saying? Okay, so we're going to be leaving Albany off of one of these runways, and the departure. Oh, I was getting this. What did I do? I don't know what I did. I did something wrong. I said open image in new tab instead of open the file in a new tab. Those are approaches. This is our departure, the Albany 7. Oh yeah, I did open image in new tab. I use just can't win for losing today. I use open image in new tab constantly. I think that's why it trips me up and gets me to click it so often in here. Here we go. Yeah, so Albany. Right, so like what? This is interesting. So presumably, what is the second page telling us here? Depending on which runway we take off, I don't want to fall too far. Oh, sister retired nurse. That's cool. Yeah, one of my best friends is a retired nurse. We worked together. I wanted to be a nurse when I grew up. I actually, so for close to 15 years, I worked for a software company, and we did our app ran the hospital nurse staffing office, which, depending on the size of your hospital, can be a sprawling operation. I mean, a big hospital can have, if not hundreds, in some cases, thousands of nurses on the payroll. And every department needs to have a certain, amount of nurses there, depending on how many patients are in that department, or in that ward, or on that hall, or in that unit, on a given day. At any rate, our software was, we were in 93% of hospitals over 200 beds in the country. At any rate, the staff was an interesting mix. I was like one of the computer people who was in a process of lifelong learning about nursing. and how it works, at least how it works in terms of, administratively. But the other half of the people working for our software company were nurses who had come to work for the software company, and they were in a lifelong learning process of learning about computers and software. So at any rate, it was a really fascinating environment. And over those years, there were a lot of times when somebody who had a nurse, technically still a nurse, but now working in software, would say to me, have you ever thought about being a nurse? You would be a great nurse. I mean, I just got really accustomed to hearing that. So then after I left software, and then after my mom passed, my mom had Parkinson's, and during over the last year of her life, she was on and off hospice a bunch of times. And the hospice nurses and CNAs, nurse aides, just impressed me so much, I decided that I wanted to become a hospice nurse. So I actually started nursing school. There's a technical college in town that has a 2-year associate program to get your to qualify to take your boards, your state boards, to become an RN. And I made it about halfway through that program before I washed out, because I'm smart, but apparently not quite smart enough. But at any rate, all of that was by way of saying, oh, right, so retired nurse, and one of my best friends is a retired nurse. So before you can even start nursing school, you have to become certified as a nursing assistant, a CNA. So I ended up working for several years in a retirement community. But then I also, I worked for the retirement community because I got my nursing assistant, my CNA certification, and applied to all the hospices in the area, and none of them even returned my call. And so a friend of mine was a nurse at this swanky retirement community. She said, you should apply here. So I applied there. And the day I sent in the application, the director of nursing was on the phone and saying, can you come in this afternoon for an interview? And it wasn't that they were desperate to hire, but my friend who worked there, who was a nurse, had told the nursing director that she'd be lucky to have me. And this particular nursing director, her philosophy was she really liked hiring CNAs who the ink was still wet on their paperwork, because she liked to mold nursing assistants in her way of doing nursing assisting. So at any rate, by the time I had a couple years experience, particularly working at that swanky, high regarded retirement community, when I applied for a job in hospice, they snapped me up immediately. So for a couple of years, I was a nursing assistant in hospice. And there was a woman who was one of their RNs who we worked it was 12-hour shifts, and I did nights, so I could go to school during the day. And most 12-hour nights that I worked, she was also working, and we just become, you go through those experiences with that frequency with another person, you kind of bond for life. And so she's still my best friend. We get together at least once a month for breakfast. And retired nurse, that's where all that started. Edward from Texas said the magic words retired nurse 17 minutes ago, and now we're going to go back and look at the Albany 7 departure. I don't know why you're still here and watching. If you are, hopefully you have some other tab open and mine on mute. But was there anything else about this? So let's go back to the first page of this one. Can't even tell now what tab I'm on. So there's some takeoff minimums here, but we're going to take off from Albany, go into Gardner. But so we'll tune the Albany VOR in nav1, and then we'll figure out what we want to have on standby. Is I not? What am I not? This is just the departure. It's actually because as soon as we depart, we're also at least imminently going to be on the arrival. I guess that's what Rabbit Tail Trail completed. Thank you, Vega Blue Sky. Yes, indeed. So what we will probably also tune in. Well, so anything we do off of here. We'll have working DME, so I don't know that there's any reason to tune in Chester. We know that VORs in Microsoft Flight Simulator tend to work for 40 miles and no more, so we're probably I think the next thing the thing to have in standby on the F1 is going to be Gardner, because we're probably going to lose the Albany VOR sometime before we even get to Wicked. So that's what we'll tune. Well, in Nav1, we'll have Albany 115.3, and then in standby, we'll have 110.6. Yeah, the rest of this seemed clear. I don't just anybody have any questions or requests about what we covered as far as doing the prep for this? Because I think, other than that, it's just going to be me getting into the airplane and struggling through it a few times, and I'm not going to subject you to that. I may also, we'll see if that goes well between now and next Tuesday. If I get to Saturday and I'm feeling pretty confident about that aspect, I might start trying out the TBM and or the Caravan, just for fun, since I'm thinking by IFR 6 we are going to need to be on one of those. Do you want should we take a quick look? This is something we could do before, and then I'm probably just going to wrap up so I can get a little break before tonight, of course, is GA Thursday on the Sim Caesar channel, where I will be your friendly moderator, and hope that you're planning on joining us. GA Thursday is always a lot of fun, and Sim Caesar mentioned during his bonus stream this morning, all of us, mentioned that he will definitely be flying the Chancellor tonight on GA Thursday, the Cessna 414. So haven't seen him fly that in quite a while. I'm looking forward to that. And then he hinted at my interpretation of what he said was that if today's expected update of the Honda Jet happened, that he is going to go ahead and buy the Honda Jet and jump in that for the first time and see how that goes. Does anybody know if that Honda Jet update happened today? I'm not a follower of such activities, so I don't know if that happened or not. Yeah, what was I saying that we would probably do next? Right, was let's just take a look at some of these other flights. I think just glance ahead at a few of the next one to see if they are as terrifying as I think they are. So maybe if we go here, that'll still be there when we come back. Hey, look, it's IFR number 6, and they have pictured it with a warrior. I'm guessing that's not what's over here. Oh, look, it is a slow piston. Well, what do you know? Oh, and you know what? I think PhD IPO, Dr. IPO, I think even said that IFR 6 is fun. So, the navigator and approach. Oh, it's our introduction to holding patterns. No wonder my memory of glancing at it was like my memory of having my wisdom teeth out. Let's see. Hey, Texas One Flyboy is here. Welcome. Good to have you here. Thanks for coming on in. Yeah, no, Cold Nebo. Yeah, no, that's well, maybe it wasn't 6. Maybe he was talking about no, I think he was talking about the next one after 5. And I may not be as smart as some people, but I'm smart enough to know that 6 is the one that comes after 5. Yeah, so oh yeah, here's the scary part. I think if I keep scrolling down, we're inevitably going to encounter the word teardrop, at which point my mind short circuits and someone may have to come click the stop streaming button. Yeah, no procedure turn. There's a phrase I like. Oh gosh. So yeah, Texas One Flyboy, welcome on in. We are just looking at we've done an in-depth examination of what we're going to do next Tuesday for Wings IFR number 5, and so now I've decided to spend a few minutes before wrapping the stream up further terrifying myself by glancing ahead to IFR 6, which looks like procedure turns. Yeah, let's see. Flies a course reversal correctly and remains on the protected side of the pattern. And then remembers to cancel IFR. So won't that be fun? And then IFR. Oh, wait, no, I'm just never clicking what I mean to click up here. Oh, see, I thought, wait, what did I do? Oh, that's okay. So I meant to close that. And then it did do what I thought it would, which is to keep this here and be easy for me. Oh, okay, Dr. IPO. Before you go, was I correct in quoting you saying that IFR number 6 is the fun one? Is that what you said? Because we just took a glance at IFR 6 and it didn't look fun. Okay. Well, if I missed you, I hope your commute is safe. Although if I missed you, there's no point in my wishing you a safe commute at this point. But at any rate, let's see what it has to say about IFR 7. Non-precision. Oh, so 6, it's full approach. By full approach, they mean with that turn, that bloody turn. And then 7 is non-precision approaches. So maybe it was 7 that he said is a fun one. Because is this... What am I doing wrong here? I don't know. Okay. At any rate, here's 7. Again, picturing, though this might not be a warrior. This might be an archer or an arrow. Yeah, I think this is this is a non-turbo arrow. Yeah, okay. Well, don't take off without a clearance. I think I've got that one down. Navigates on course in accordance with clearance given. LDA runway 2 approach. Okay. LDA runway 2 approach. And is that at? It's at KFD. I think I remember, I think I have a vague memory of LDA approaches. I think it uses a localizer antenna, but it's not located at the far end of the runway, so you can't use it to actually line up with the runway. Isn't it where you fly in on the localizer, but then you have to sidestep over to the runway? Something like that. There's something like that with an it's probably going to tell us down here. Yeah, 20-degree offset between the localizer course and the runway. Won't place you perfectly over, but instead, it's right. So the purpose of it is to safely descend me with step downs along the localizer, safely descend me down to, yeah, okay. All right, okay. Well, that means, so to me, that seems less terrifying than than with that procedure turn. I have, all right, full ILS without course reversal. Okay, fine. Ooh, we get to do an ODP on number 9. Oh, and ODP and circling approach. Okay, yeah, I remember seeing this and thinking, yep, okay, 9 is where we die. But 9 plus the 6 VFRs, that would be 15 flights. So we'll make it at least halfway through this program. That's my prediction. We will make... Oh, good Lord. Then we get back course approaches. IFR check ride. Huh? What the heck? Lesser use of techniques over riding are great. Review of the content resources will take you from New Bedford to Plymouth, and then on from Plymouth to learn about IFR clearances, hold entries, and missed approaches. Why do they call it a check ride if there's not somebody with you? That seems really weird. And it sure seems like you, okay, well, so I guess everything after 11 is even more advanced. Oh, I see. We're going to do CDFA. Even continuous descent final approach. I've never even heard of that. All right. Exciting new things to learn. Missed approach and hold entry. RNAV and the FMC. I have to learn the FMC to pass this program. Nobody told me that. Oh, welcome to the Peter Mooney whining channel. Okay, well, you know what? If I have to learn the FMC to pass this program, even though it will make Sim Caesar cringe, I think by the time we get to 14, so here's a new goal. Start soundtrack. Take a note. New goal for the Peter Mooney channel. By the time we get to IFR 14, we are going to put the FMC in the BAE 146 and fly this flight 14 in the bay. Ha ha! Even though Sim Caesar will hate having the FMC in the bay, I have to. If I have to use an FMC, that's the plane I choose to use it in. So there. I've owned it for more than 6 months, flown it twice, each disastrously. So there's a new associated goal. I'd better note that down over here where, yes, so I now have two things on my to learn list. Learn how to calculate a descent and learn how to fly the bay. Easy peasy. Nothing to see here. All right, so after the FMC, then we're going to learn high altitude airways and RNP approach. Now, see this. So this scares me because I know that I think RNP is a little more, has a greater equipment requirement than just a plain old RNAV approach. Because it seems like there's only a handful of planes that can fly an RNP, but I don't know. I got a lot to learn about that. Then called Nebo. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I told myself we were going to do this, but there we go. So RNAV arrivals and holds and the CDFA. RNAV departures, hold entries, missed approaches. Now I know. Now I think I know what a CPDLC is. It's a something. It's a clearance delivery thing where they send me a message on my FMC rather than them reading the clearance to me aloud and me reading it back. I'm pretty sure. Does it say with you? Controller pilot data link communications. Yes, good. So I did know what that was. Woo-hoo. There's something past Flight 7 that I know what it is. Isn't that great? RNAV terminal arrival areas, TAA. Yep. Don't know what that is. I saw another something with a TA, something about, I don't think it was in this program, but I saw TRSA yesterday and couldn't remember what that was and haven't looked it up, but I need to look up TRSA. It's a terminal something area. I know that. Terminal radar service area is probably what that is. But that seems like what a TRACON is, but we've got two terms. We've got a TRACON and we've got a TERSA, and so I should know what the difference for those are. VOR approaches using GPS. That sounds interesting. And it'll be at Presque Isle, which is a name I love saying. Good. Into the mountains. That sounds dangerous. Airspace and arrivals. Okay. Weather, deviations, and emergency management. Oh, interesting. We're going to learn emergency management, even though they prefer that you not have emergencies on the network. That's interesting. Now, here we're going to focus on circle to land, even though we already did circling approaches somewhere way back up here, didn't we? Yeah, back in number 9. Okay, well, I guess it's just more in-depth on the circle to land, and then charted visual flight procedures. Oh, so this is things like the Forstax visual or, so I know what a charted visual, I at least know what a charted visual procedure is, even if I haven't flown one before. JPM Navigator, you're still living. Me too. I've just taken a glance at the remaining, what have we done? 4 and 6 is 10 from 30, the remaining 20 IFR flights in the Boston Wings program, and I now wish I were dead, but I am still alive, And I see that JPM Navigator is, and somebody is following Aussie Gamer Merv. Oh, it's not. That's Aussie Gamer. Guilty confession. Every time I see your name, and maybe it's because I grew up watching Johnny Carson and Michael Douglas and Merv Griffin, but every time I see your screen, the first time I see your screen name on a given day, what registers is the MERV, and so I want to say, hi Merv, but I don't think you're Merv. I think you're Aussie Gamer VH, and I don't know if the VH has anything to do with maybe Victoria or not, or I'm not trying to pry, but at any rate, Aussie Gamer, thank you for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Great to have you here. First time chat as well. Great to have you. Oh, yes. Fun dot. Well played. Very, very astute observation of you. Yes. I have just taken out a loan from the First National Bank of Worry. I'll have to look up some synonyms for worry. I know there are some juicy ones. We need a First National Bank of some better synonym for worry. Huh? So with that, I think that's really all the stream I got in me. Spun out, unless you what's up? So what's up? Spun out if you've got an inspiring idea for some quick little fun fly along short route, we could do that, or we could just wrap it up and have a nice dinner break before GA Thursday. That's certainly my inclination. But for those who may have come expecting to see an airplane flying, the closest that we got to that was this. Hey, Mariner Halley. Yeah, the stream went fine. I'm using listen to him. He's using the past tense already for how the stream went. The stream went fine. Oh yeah, we look. Yeah, let's take a break. We'll do a fun, I think we're going to whip right on Tuesday. We are going to whip right through that IFR number 5 flight in the first couple hours, and we'll do a fun short hop fly along after that to celebrate our passing IFR number 6. Take that, First National Bank of, it's on the tip of my tongue. Well, it's not trepidation. First National Bank of Trepidation would be, oh, wait, trepidation. First trepidatious bank of, no, I don't know. I'll work on that for Tuesday as well. But we're just going to zip through IFR number 5 in the first couple hours on Tuesday, and then we'll have plenty of time to do a nice fly along. Spend that, put that on the back burner if you like, someplace that you might like us to fly along next Tuesday to celebrate our passing. Yes, sorry. Why, Cold Nebo, you worrywart, you. Only a worrywart would think I meant that. Oh, Spundot, that's excellent. Absolutely excellent. I hope you'll forgive me for not feeling up to doing it today, but I think rather than staying on here and then ending up with only a short, kind of thing before GA Thursday, I think I will have a much better chance of living my best life and being the happiest me I can be if we just wrap it up now and move on from there. There's only a few thank yous to do from today. We did receive some. We continue to learn that the right hand mouse does not work on the left hand computer, and I continue to be confused about which way. Yeah, that does look like I'm looking to my left on the screen. Oh, Golden Nebo! Thank you for the 100 bits. That's absolutely super. I will just start the bits thank yous with Cold Nebo. Thank you, Cold Nebo, for the 100 bits. And also thanks to Gutchus for the bits. Thanks to Siren for 100 bits and Jumperman for 200. And Sky Command started off the stream with a bits cheer. Thank you so much for that. And spun out another 100 bits. Thank you. I most humbly appreciate all the it means every bit in the world to me. Thank you so much. But then we also got not a bunch, but we got some new follows. Merv followed us for the first time. May I call you Merv? No, I don't know. I probably will call you Merv, but I will try. Thank you, Aussie Gamer, for the follow, and Rookie 31st followed. And I want to think I want to say somebody. Oh no, that was before the stream started. We had an overnight follow as well. So thank you for the bits, and thank you for the follows, and thank you for your amazing patience and astonishing ability to show interest in something that I wouldn't have thought would have been all that interesting. But I guess I definitely learned a few things about the the FAA plates for stars, and maybe a thing about a SID. Hey, Drippy is here. Oh, and Tyro is cheering 100 bits. Thank you for the bits, Tyro. I appreciate that as well. Like I said, though, I learned a few things, and so hopefully, in exchange for your time and trouble, hopefully maybe you learned a few things, or obviously in the case of some of the folks who are here today, had the opportunity to teach some things. Great appreciation to K Thanks Bye, not K Thanks Bye. No, thank you for being here, K Thanks Bye, but also thanks to Kilo Zebra. For a lot of wonderful advice and input and explanations and clarifications, and to Jeffrey B as well. Well, I think Jeffrey B I thought this was kind of your first time as well. Did you, Jeffrey B, did you fail to follow? No, I think you're a follower already, aren't you? Are you a follower? Now I have to look and see. Yes, you've been following since, no. This says you've been following since, oh, yes, since January. My bad, sorry. but January, that's only the first month. We've been here for 3 months. Sorry. What was I saying? Oh, Spundot. Thank you so much. That's you're one of the kindest persons that I have encountered here on Twitch. I mean, at least in the flight sim portion of Twitch, it does seem that the level of kindness is appreciably higher than other areas of Twitch or just life in general. But but even in the context of a kinder than average setting, Spundot, you stand out. Your kindness stands out among the group. And I want to be careful. I think I've tried to say this before, that like when I say thank you for being kind, people somehow twist that around to my saying like, oh, you're only saying that to be kind. And that's exactly the opposite of what I'm meaning. What I'm meaning is I'm acknowledging the fact that you are a kind person, and that being so is what would give rise to your having said that out of kindness. Yes, Jeffrey, absolutely. Completely my poor and worsening memory. Kevmick, welcome in from moi, and from moi. Moi welcomes Kevmick from moi. And sorry that you missed most of it, but if you load the VOD once it's uploaded, and you can skim through and capture the essence of the content in probably 12 to 14 minutes rather than 2 hours. Well, yes, you said that because you said that. Don't worry about it, Happy Blitzkrieg, because worry is oh, you thought it was only last week, but in fact it was 3 or 4 weeks ago. But if it seems like only a week, that's good. That's a good thing. Mustix, enjoy cooking. I think I'm about to hop in the kitchen and actually cook something instead of eating crappy fast food again. And Stormgrad, oh good, yeah. Well, I don't know how deep a dive I was able to provide. Any depth to the dive into star plates was provided by Kilo Zebra, Jeffrey B, and I want to say somebody else who was here earlier who had some advice. But, oh, bad turbulence. I didn't even say hi. How did I miss you coming in? And why can I not now not find you after I saw you scrolling by as I looked? At any rate, in whatever capacity you were here today and however you participated, even if that was just lurking, I very much appreciate your being here. I just need to kind of look over here and look at who we might want to give a raid to. I really like raiding like small people who, well, there's a person I would raid, but they're doing Minecraft, so I don't know about that. They must do flight sim, but they're not today. What's going on here? No. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, maybe. No. Farming, PGA. Don't really know them. Oh, heck no. Oh, what's this one? Bear with me. There's a lot of people streaming today. Oh my gosh, Quas is streaming. What could I be thinking? Of course we'll go say hi to Quas. I'm a fool. I don't know how I missed that from the get-go. And probably someone has pointed out to me in the chat that Quas was streaming. But I'm not seeing my chat now because I'm busy looking at who are we going to go raid. So let me get back to my stream. Yes, Moet. There you go. Does he deserve us? Quas is a highly deserving person. He's, yeah, I hesitate to say that because it might actually be true of someone else who's in this room, but I think Quas is the smartest person I know. That was probably a mistake saying that out loud. But he is, as they say at Gardner or in Revilla, he's wicked smart. So that's who we're going to raid. Let me just get that in here and get that going. Because, hey, Soroa Mangasito, welcome in. We are just wrapping up. I'm just about to start a raid over to Quas. And as soon as I see his picture that says, yes, I did that right, that means that I can, I think, go ahead and start Louis Armstrong on the pretty exit music. And that's somewhere over here on this side. Yep, it's right there. So again, thank you for sharing my trials and tribulations today. Thank you for helping me worry a little less. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Oh, I stream every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, 2000 Zulu. Please come join us next Tuesday at that time, because I promise we're going to fly an airplane, and we'll even try to pass the wings program test. So thanks again, and bye for now.